For the past couple of months, I've been paying attention to a lot of interviews coming from SNK for Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, and I can say SNK is definitely trying their best to set this game up for success, and I'm not just talking about game sales, but for their future titles. In today's video, I will be discussing why Fatal Fury City of the Wolves will hold a very important role in SNK's plans, and how could SNK go about it. But before we get into the video, if you guys want to see more fighting game content on this channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's jump into the video. Starting off, I think SNK needs to finish character stories for Mark of the Wolves and City of the Wolves. Since Mark of the Wolf left a lot of character stories in cliffhangers, SNK has come out and said that they are trying to make a conclusion for these characters and want to make sure everything in the story makes sense. Not only for fans who have been following the storyline for a very long time, but also for newcomers who are new to the story and have no understanding of the characters. And since the story of Art of Fighting, Samurai Showdown, and Fatal Fury happens way before King of Fighters, SNK wants to use these games as building blocks to basically build the next generation for KOF. And plus, with the new generation of people who don't have any knowledge of these IPs, this will also help them understand the lore and where these characters come from as well. We also know that SNK has brought back one of their senior writers who has helped with previous Fatal Fury titles to help them flesh out the story and make sure everything is in the right setting of Southtown and City of the Wolves. With Fatal Fury City of the Wolves being centered once again around Rock Howard, who has not been the main protagonist in his own game since 1999, which was Garou Mark of the Wolves. SNK plans to continue his story right from the cliffhanger of the reveal that KR Highland is Rock's uncle and the reveal of Rock's mother still being alive. For 20 plus years, we haven't had anything regarding the continuation of his story, and now that SNK is working on finishing his story, we could possibly see Rock being pushed as one of the face characters for SNK in the future. I think a conclusion to Rock's story could also push him to even bigger heights in character popularity. We already know people like his design, and we've seen him be featured in multiple titles such as Capcom vs SNK 2, Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, and even in King of Fighters 14 and 15. And since we already have the crossover between the old gen characters being Terry and Mai going into Street Fighter 6, and with Ken and Chun-Li coming to City of the Wolves, I genuinely think that we could maybe see Rock Howard and a crossover for Street Fighter 6 as well. With Capcom pushing the new generation of characters like Luke and Jamie, and with SNK doing the same for theirs, this could also be pushed into another Capcom vs SNK 3 speculation for fans. Another thing to note is that SNK is trying to make new characters appeal in the modern day era, like the next set of new gen characters, Vox Reaper, who is the student of Grant, and Preecha being the star pupil to Joe Higashi. It seems like SNK wants to appeal to a new generation of fans while trying to appeal to the older fans. We have a lot of characters that can take some of the older guards' place, like Hokutomaru being the ninja in the new generation taking on both Andy and Mai's fighting styles, the Kim brothers taking Kim Kat-Won's place for Taekwondo, and even Rock Howard taking Terry and Gee's place since he has similar fighting styles to both characters and also has moves like Rising Tackle and Rippukens. Now I know what you're thinking, what about the OG characters? Well, SNK haven't forgotten about their old fan base. We still have Terry supporting Rock in his story. We also have Mai Shiranui being added into the game since she wasn't playable or involved in events of Garou Mark of the Wolves. And we can't forget about Billy too, who was also not playable in Mark of the Wolves. With SNK revealing the new gen and some of the old gen characters, I'm pretty sure SNK is trying to mix both old and new gen together while pushing the story forward. Now, I want to talk about something that I feel is important for any character and not just fighting games, but video games in general. That thing is legacy impact. A lot of characters in games bring a legacy with them when they're set in a fighting game. Characters such as Dante from Devil May Cry brought a lot of crazy mechanics from the DMC series into Marvel vs. Capcom. The impact of the game's mechanics made their way into the game, which made playing as Dante a much different experience than any other character. If we take a look at one of SNK's biggest pro tags, Terry Bogard, you can see he's left a lasting impression on both the Fatal Fury series and the gaming as a whole. Terry has transcended from simply being a Fatal Fury character. In fact, Terry is regarded as being one of the most well-known guest characters in today's fighting games, to the point where people meme about him being in games outside of fighting games. With that being said, Terry's most notable guest appearance was his inclusion to Smash Bros. Ultimate. This not only brought Terry in his games to the forefront, but it also put Fatal Fury on the map once again, which I think is part of why we have City of the Wolves today. And to further that, we have Terry in Street Fighter 6 bringing his system mechanics with him from few of his games, specifically pass and sway or lane switching in the Fatal Fury games. I believe that Rock should be included as a guest character in the future in, say, Street Fighter 6. As I mentioned earlier, I could see him potentially bringing the City of the Wolves mechanics with him as well. Or even if he's included in another game, I could see the same result, as the goal is to bring City of the Wolves with him no matter where he goes. Just like Terry brings OG Fatal Fury as well. I think this is very important to building a legacy not just for Rock, but for the future of SNK Pro Tags and other future characters they create. Overall, SNK is trying to set up Fatal Fury City of the Wolves as an evolution between characters, game systems, and the community that loves their games. We know SNK wants to become a top 10 developer, and I believe that they can do it. If they find a way to push the new generation characters while continuing to keep a very good balance between the older characters, I'm sure SNK will build something great for the future. I can't wait to see what happens when we get more information on the future titles they've teased, and I know we're pretty far off from KOF 16, but when we get to that point for the next installment, I believe we'll see huge and big things coming from SNK in the next couple of years. Now, I want to know your thoughts in the comments down below. How do you guys feel about SNK trying to push the next generation of characters? And how do you think SNK could go about it? And yeah, that's basically it for today's video. If you guys want to see more fighting game content on this channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And it is your boy EdoSaiyan, and I see you guys next time. Take it easy, stay safe, love y'all, peace out.
Get ready for the next battle.